3, 2, 1, go. Hello everyone and welcome. Yes, hold your hand to your heart. Hey, this is Game Dog.
And the Orange Panda.
My sister is back and we're doing another co-op LP.
Woo!
This is Citizens of Earth. Okay, let me set the stage before we get too far into this. I just finished my 3-hour video about Y2K, a post-modern RPG, and then afterwards I wanted to play another Earthbound-like as a palate cleanser, so I went for the much more lighthearted and much better reviewed Citizens of Earth, and I loved it way more than I thought I did, and I want to do a Let's Play of it.
Come back later.
So this game is fully voice acted too, by the way.
I can tell. Yep, this is totally new to me.
Yeah, this is not the kind of game we normally do a Let's Play of, but I think it'd be a lot of fun anyway.
Had a late night. It's tough being vice president of the world.
By the way, we are the vice president of the world.
So this takes place after Detective Heart America, The Final Freedom.
It takes place after Detective Heart of America.
Where he makes the entirety of the world America.
Oh my god, Aaron. That's so good. That should be canonical.
We figured it out.
Also, you missed one of my favorite gags in the game. When he wakes up, his eyes are still open. It's just like his normal standing sprite, but in the bed. It's so funny to me.
America never sleeps. So we're gonna get into the job you gave me.
Yeah, so the gimmick of this game is there are 40 party members, and it's very Earthbound-like. It's actually a lot like Mother 3, and you can rename all 40 party members, including the protagonist, and I gave Aaron the task of naming them all. However, here's the thing. I didn't tell her what any of them look like, aside from very vague descriptions of their characters. Yeah, he gave me
brief descriptions, and,
and
some of them were just like my favorite character.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not lying. So there are some pretty funny names in this. We have names that are memes. We have names that are references to anime that I don't understand.
Because I made it.
There's no less than 3... Oh. There's no less than 3 characters who are women, but they have man names. Because I was that vague with some of them. What a great picture of me.
Just me.
Just me.
So his name is John America because I looked up the most common American name, which was, I think, John, or it was John Smith, and I'm like, I can't have his last name be Smith.
Yeah.
It has to be America.
So this is our brother. He looks like 20 years younger than us, which gives me a couple questions. So when I told you, I think what I gave you as a criteria for this character, or what I gave you, I just said always has your back, works at FedEx. You'll see the name Aaron gave him. Now, that's not 100% true. He doesn't work for FedEx. In this universe, it's called Fed Up.
So fed up with this.
It's called Fed Up, and I love it.
I'm so fed up. Oh, he comes.
Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have got my phone open so we can do, IMDb pages of all these characters. Because all of them, most of them are unique voice actors. Though not many I recognize, admittedly. Some of these I think are actual professional voice actors, but some I do feel are just friends of the devs. Although most of the voice acting is pretty good. There's 1 or 2 characters I think have kind of annoying voices, but that's So we just recruited the mom, and you wanted... This is a name I did not understand.
It's Karen backwards, because you said she's not a Karen.
Oh, yeah, I said she doesn't look like a Karen.
So I just did Karen backwards.
By the way, if you know what that is, you've spent too much time on Reddit, but... Narak. I thought, it sounds like a demon from an anime. I'm like, what? Okay. I'm like...
I could have went with Gorshlax if we wanted to do even more Detective Heart of America.
Oh, you should have named her Gorshlax.
Stuck in another portal again.
There is a party member that lets you rename other party members.
Oh, God.
This is another kind of cool gimmick about this game. Every party member has a talent. And this talent, some are better than others, but basically, every party member has, a unique thing they can do. Yeah, Moonbucks instead of Starbucks. For example, since your brother works at FedUp, he can deliver stuff for you. And you wanted to name him Mailman Luigi.
That's what he is. If he's a bro, always got your back.
Yeah, and the mom's talent is that she can basically give you tutorials, which makes a lot of sense.
Is this your president pad?
Yeah, this is the U tab. Look at all these party members.
You get so many.
Okay, now we are going to be getting every party member. We're going to be doing all of the cop missions, all the exterminator missions. We won't be doing all the missions in general, but we're going to be doing enough to get all of the achievements, which for me is 100%. Here are your stats. Yes, this is straight up an RPG. Hug, lecture. Those are the only two moves she has right now.
Very important.
Yeah, her talent is that she just shows you different stuff. And his talent,
What do you want?
he can order stuff for you through Fed Up. So let's order a bun.
You need anything.
Just got a bun.
Just one bun.
Very bunny.
2 dirty socks. That's all we have.
Always important to have.
I love how your mission log is called the agenda. That's so funny to me.
God, it's the agenda.
I told all the guys at work to vote for you. There's some really funny... Oh! Uh-oh! Spoilers!
Oh no. Oh no.
I might have to censor that, actually. So I don't want to go too crazy with, like, who's going to be. That was my first playthrough, by the way, right there.
Out, Ma. My adoring public, here to congratulate me on my meteoric rise to power.
No!
He sounds familiar, God.
John America sounds familiar to you?
Envy, you see.
Yeah.
This is exactly why I got into politics in the first place.
Prologue, your unadoring public. There's a party member whose talent lets you go through trash cans.
Always important.
He steals car. Thanks, but no thanks.
So glad you're home, Mr. VP.
Why, thank you. It's nice to relax after an election. You here for an autograph?
The only signing that's going on is my sign and your face.
Oh.
Something I love about the writing in this game is that it's like borderline boomer humor, but you can tell it was written by like people in their 20s,
Yeah.
which I think just kind of adds to the charm of it. Like it feels intentionally cringy. So I just skipped the tutorial. So this is what fighting looks like in this game. It's a very busy screen, but trust me, it's not that complicated actually. Also, I don't know how to use items in battle in this game. It's also controlled with the mouse, which is kind of unique for a game like this.
You gotta beat this man.
Yeah. So how this game works is, you see those like blue orbs underneath our characters?
Yes.
That's your energy, which is basically MP.
Keep it up.
And the gimmick is like some attacks gain you energy and some attacks lose you energy. And typically stuff that gains you energy is like, you know, self-buffing stuff, weak attacks, and then like the heavy-hitting attacks actually lose you energy. Like Doggy Pile. Mailman Luigi has a move called Doggy Pile, which loses you 2 energy, but it's probably the strongest attack you're going to have for a while. Yeah, so we're going to meet some of the new enemies here. We have protesters and hecklers. These are the first 2 enemies of the game.
What has the vice president done to warrant him so many protesters, or is that a spoiler?
Don't know. You know, one thing I love about this game is, like... I described this game to a friend of mine, and she put it in a way I really liked. This is like what a little kid thinks being a politician is like.
God.
It's like, you go around on adventures around the world helping people, and people have to do what you say. And, like, occasionally people who hate you are just villainized to heck and back. Like, it's...
This is the opposite of Animal Crossing, where you have to get everyone in the town to like you before you can even...
Yeah, you have to get everyone in the town to tolerate to the point at which they'll help you.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Oh, there's this Mary Kate and Ashley song. It's called, well, you know, when they were a thing and not hiding.
I barely remember that.
It's called you can't tell the president what to do. And this was back when they were babies.
Look at the police officer.
Those eyes.
Look at his pin.
Gotta be happy. It's like the police officer from Sword and Shield, except not at all.
Who's the police officer from Sword and Shield? Oh, the one who goes like pip pip copper.
The one who just it's like everyone in Pokemon Sword and Shield like seems to talk totally normal, occasionally like an accent like slipping in. Then you have the cops.
Ah, yes, this is the Britain that we've heard so much about.
And in every other every other Pokemon game, like it's all normal dialect. But then when they got to Sword and Shield, they're like, what if?
I don't know.
What if Britain? I'm getting water.
This is the photojournalist.
Oh yeah.
The game calls her the photographer, but she's not a photographer. She's a photojournalist because, like, she talks about taking pictures for the news all the time. Like, and also she plays hide and seek with you.
Ooh.
Now, you can't get every party member just by talking to them. For her, you need to go to 2 specific places and find her taking pictures or something, in which case she'll take a picture of you, because nothing says headlines quite like a picture of the president next to some old cars. Like,
I mean, it could be a headline. You don't know what we're gonna do at this point.
So why don't you go find the 2 locations?
I never really used her that much. You know, the whole playthrough is not recorded as of the time I'm doing this, so what I could do is I could try out some, like, you know, maybe you could request I use some characters, and if I haven't recorded that part of the game yet, maybe I could.
You just walk around.
This game does have on-screen encounters.
I'm tired of this protest. I'd rather be inside relaxing.
Go inside, Fred.
Go
No one's
inside and
forcing you.
relax. Those red bramble bushes you can only get rid of later.
Sir, the road to Camp Cuckoo is closed for now.
What's Camp Cuckoo? I love the other option. Sounds dreadful. Thanks for
Spare my life, please.
spare my life.
Actually, this is a really impressive lava lamp, because I just noticed that.
So did you see that right there?
What did you do?
You can throw your party members at enemies.
As all vice presidents do.
As all vice presidents, just throw your supporters, and then
Watch out.
Thanks for the tip.
yeah,
Doggy piles.
yeah. That's our strongest attack right now. It costs 2 energy to use.
A whole 2.
Yeah, I guess I could talk about. Oh, if you sneak up on enemy, you get a preempt, as you'd expect from a game like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like how preempts and surprise attacks are handled in this game. Instead, you typically start a battle with like 2 energy. If you get a preempt, you start with an extra 1, and if you get ambushed, you lose 1. So they don't get like a free turn or anything, which honestly I think is kind of good balance, honestly. Donut piece.
God, just a piece.
A piece of a donut. I don't have any healing items yet.
I went to Moonbox.
Moonbuck. I think we do go into Moonbucks.
There we go, into Moonbox.
I have not mastered the best practices yet when it comes to to editing this. This is only the first episode, so
You're in luck, my friend. I own the local soda shop. But
this guy is my favorite voice in the game. He's very chill.
special blend is
Also, he's a bartender, but that's soda. We swear it's soda.
It's soda, I swear, guys.
I swear.
Jelly-filled donuts.
He looks a bit like a friend of mine too. I don't.
drinking quite well today.
I love the effect when you skip a cutscene.
Interrupting school.
Oh well. Preposterous. Let me see what I can do about this.
I don't mind, so long as I got this delicious special blend.
Either he's one of those caffeine junkies you hear about, or something weird's going on here.
Oh, this character is a fan favorite. It's the conspiracy guy.
Gotta have the conspiracy.
I don't pay taxes. I also don't drink the coffee. Neither should you.
Taxes and
Seuss from Gravity Falls.
Ooh,
Seuss, he has the question mark on his shirt.
Seuss.
Seuss from
He has,
Gravity Falls.
he has an alien hat.
As all conspiracy theorists do.
So like any good politician, you just have to side with the crazy people until they join you. He actually is the first party member you can get that isn't like your mom or your brother. I think your mom and your brother you're required to get, but the everyone else is just fair game. You can recruit anyone. And one thing I especially like is that you can recruit them in basically any order you want to, although there are some that you are clearly going to get before others.
Track down evidence. Sound good?
I think there are only 2 that you need to beat the game to get. Alright,
Oh,
so
he's off.
he's gonna go to the police station. You know, where all conspiracy theorists go.
Don't heckle them right now.
This character freaks me out. I think it's the eyes.
Sorry, my mind was just drifting away from me there.
Is something wrong?
Not really. Just waiting for my manager to come in. He's never late. But
But
Well, he's late this time.
he's never late.
I'd like to speak to your manager. Gain his trust.
Oh god. Oh, who are you, my man?
That's his walking animation.
Why don't you watch where I'm going?
Why don't you watch where I'm going?
You can't talk to the vice president
Flex.
like that.
Device who? What now? Sounds like a made-up pageant to me.
It's called an election. I won, so you have to do what I say.
See, he literally says that.
contest and won, and you think you're better than me. You're just lucky I didn't enter. What was your talent, anyhow? Being short and flabby?
It wasn't some muscle show-off extravaganza. This is the real world, pal. Politics.
Well, if you got what it
Take stuff on my gym. This is ironically one of the easiest party members to recruit.
Oh god.
And he's pretty good early on, and he just killed a man.
Oh, why would you do that? The president, you're right, vice going for John America.
Just killed a man. Cops. Just cops. Alright, this is one of my favorite characters right here.
What's your business here today? Do you have something to report? I had to lock up your little friend.
Oh god dang it.
No. He came in talking about the lizard people.
He came in talking about the coffee specifically.
Well, if you can bring me some solid evidence, I'll consider letting him out.
So you don't get her until a little bit later.
Do you have something to report?
Howdy ho, officer. Everything nice and quiet these days?
Sir, maybe you didn't notice, but there's a massive protest all around my streets. And I got that old kook and Moonbuck stirring up people with his conspiracies and
You mean the one you just locked up?
Yeah, he's not there anymore.
Okay, now her talent is, she gives you, like, special missions. Those are, like, mini-bosses.
Do you have something to report?
Hey, why don't you come with us? We could use the law on our side.
Thank you, but this entire area is one bad sneeze away from chaos. I can't abandon my post. Unless maybe you want to lend a hand or something.
So yeah, we need to, actually I forgot how you recruit her, but I do it in a future episode.
Eventually.
Eventually. Again, this is a 100% run.
Gotta sneak past all the
You
protesters.
can go into the back of the police station.
I love how maximum security this maximum security prison is.
Are you the Illuminati?
So, got yourself arrested, did you?
She didn't believe me about the coffee. She threw me in here. I need you to find some compelling evidence so she'll let me out.
What constitutes evidence in a situation like this?
I don't know, maybe those sheeple at Moonbuck saw something strange happen.
The sheeple man.
The sheeple at Moonbucks. I think if we go back to Moonbucks, they'll talk about some, like, weird coffee beans they've been seeing around town, because at this point, we're gonna start seeing some coffee bean enemies, and I think they drop evidence.
Look at that cute little bakery sign.
Wait till you see the inside.
Please, out of my shop! Big Bertha's not for sale!
So when I gave you the prompt for this character, all I said was French.
And the response, the name, I named him.
And this is our rival. He doesn't get a name, he's just called the opposition leader.
What a terrifying
We don't know
name.
what his party is, but he does look fairly evil. So.
Here, or was that just me?
The man of the hour arrived.
And you notice how one is red and one is blue? I wonder if that's a subtle commentary for something.
I wonder. Guys, what political party do you think this game leans towards? Or is it just too ridiculous to even comprehend?
You know, another thing I respect about this game is that this is probably the least political game about politics I've ever played. Like, there's not even, like, political commentary. It's just, hey, let's make fun of politicians, because that's always fun. Like, ironically, the sequel to this game does this once with one character, and it's kind of a big character, but we can get that if we ever do the sequel. Oh yeah, this game has a sequel, and it's pretty awesome. I kind of prefer this one more, though. I think... Like, here's the thing. It's called Citizens of Space. I think the sequel is a better game, but I like this one a little more. Does that make sense?
I guess, like, technically, like, some, like, games are better made, like, with the sequels, but, like, they're more appealing, like, the first one.
Yeah. I like the gameplay of this one a little more, and I like the mission structure a bit more. I don't know, if we ever do the sequel, I could talk about that. I'll probably be talking about Citizens of Space a lot in here.
Whoa, how old are you? Let's see. +7, carry the 1, carry the 2, hat adds 10 years.
Hat adds 10 years.
He got a new hat.
He brandishes a shiny donut and hands it to you.
This looks delicious.
I know, right? Who'd have thought you could plant a donut?
You can plant and grow donuts in this game.
As it should be.
As it should be.
Get on that, America.
Get on it.
And that's the T.
So she is basically the crafting system of the game. That's her talent.
Hey, youngin', what can I do you for? You like homegrown?
Yeah, and it's pretty rudimentary as far as
You can just buy sushi from her too.
Yeah, it's pretty rudimentary as far as like crafting systems go. Like enemies drop small items. Like I don't even think in my first playthrough I used her talent at all. In fact, I think just considered one of the worst party members actually.
Oh no.
Found a donut. We're just gonna steal the donut.
What is capitalism is something?
It's creating that wavy air effect.
Man, I love me some science.
Willkommen! How can I help you?
Huh?
Something to munch on?
Don't think that's French.
So he he sells you stuff, and Mailman Luigi's talent, when he buys stuff for you, it's upcharged a little bit as you'd expect. You know, because you can just get it anywhere. But if you come here specifically, you can get like buns and baked goods a little bit cheaper. He also sells equipment, though you gotta level him up a lot to get it. Oh, and there's the bun. We got our fed up bun.
Gotta enjoy your bun.
Raise your fed up buns in chat. Oh, what's that?
Is that a bean?
Is that a bean?
Bean?
Get him! It's a coffee bean.
Oh, look at him. Is this Plants vs. Zombies or what?
It does look a little bit like a Plants vs. Zombies character. The art style looks a little bit like Plants vs. Zombies too, to be honest.
It is a really appealing art style too. I like how the characters look.
Here's the thing about the art style. I hear most people don't like it. What? They think it's like too detailed and too stiff. Here's something I found out about the art style though. I think it's supposed to be based off political cartoons.
That's what it looked like to me, because everything's like exaggerated to like that point.
Yeah, and it makes sense given like the whole gimmick of the game, like you play as a politician. I don't know. I can see why some people don't like the art style, but I think it's kind of unique, and the sequel completely does away with it. It makes it very toony instead. I think both look pretty good, although again, I kind of just like how much more unique the art style in this game is. Like, political cartoons are a very weird art style to play around with. It's very stiff. Like, it's hard to make look good in motion. And I think a lot of the criticisms people have for the art style in this game kind of stems from that. Because, again, look at that walk animation. Like, it's just the legs and the arms that are moving.
Yeah. I don't think people register this as a political cartoon because not everything is labeled.
It's like one of my favorite tropes of political cartoons.
Ground, 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 the Democrats ground.
I love political cartoons for all the wrong reasons. Like, it's just so dumb seeing up there.
Oh, I didn't like that sound.
What? Uh-huh?
The uh-huh!
Every character has like a uh-huh kind of sound when they like heal someone. Yeah, Karen Narek. Narek. Again, that sounds like the name of like an anime god. It really does.
I want an anime god named Karen.
Karen.
What are you trying to do to him?
I'm trying to sneak up on him. They won't turn away. You won't. Okay. The mom is one of those characters that gets really good, but she's like really awful early game because she knows how she has 2 energy.
Yeah. She's the
only character in the game who has 2 energy. Everyone else has, the average is 3, and there's like 4 characters that have either 4 or 5. And I don't know why they do it. She gets an equip that like gives her more energy later, and she also gets some pretty broken abilities later as well. But like, I don't know, she kind of reminds me of Terry Hintz from Lisa the Painful, where like she starts out intentionally awful, but becomes a pretty big powerhouse by the end of the game. She has an ability called like Motherly Reminder that makes a character, it forces her to go last, but it makes a character repeat their last action without having to pay its cost, and this works with super moves.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Like, she's a very good support character, but she just doesn't start with too much.
You know, I ran on a platform of trust, integrity, and some other stuff. You have my word. I'll keep an eye.
And some other stuff.
Just other stuff. Oh, here he comes.
So we got the conspiracy guy.
Thanks for springing me, Chief. Now, let's take this to the streets and...
She just said not to do that.
Why don't we play a game, shall we? The first person to create a mass panic loses, all right?
I have a feeling I'm not gonna do well.
Oh no.
I knew you could be trusted.
Alright, time for the conspiracy guy once more. And
So
his name.
you decide to name him Facebook?
Yeah.
Because why?
Have you ever, like, seen Facebook before?
I haven't been on Facebook since I published my Y2K episode, and that was only to post it there.
So many conspiracy theories, that's where all the anti-vaxxers hang out.
Dang. Do you think the conspiracy guy is an anti-vaxxer?
What do you think? Look at him. Look at him. Anyone who wears camo pants can't be trusted.
So his gimmick is that he's kind of... I compare him to a bit like a physical elementalist, and if you've played Final Fantasy, you'll know what that is and be pretty intrigued by that. It's pretty much a party member that uses all kinds of different elements, but is not really a master in any of them. Yeah, so he starts with, what did I start with? He starts with, like, a Q's. Oh, this game has an element system. It also has one of the most unique ideas for an element I've ever heard of. It's called verbal.
Verbal?
Verbal is an element. And it's basically attacks that involve you, like, scolding or yelling at opponents.
Stop that.
I think the mother, her first elemental attack is a verbal attack, and it's called, like, scold. So, yeah.
I can't believe you came! So, how are you enjoying my perfectly...
You know it's legal when they say it's legal.
Am I totally legal? Not at all wrong. Under the Constitution.
Idiot! This entire protest is against you! Don't you see that?
Hey, you! Listen up. He may be a naughty boy sometimes, but no one protests my son unless they go through me first.
Nurex spit in bars.
So we have our first boss of the game, the opposition leader, and he's pretty easy. Yeah, see, lecture and scold.
Like, what do you expect when you go and, like, beat up an old man? It isn't like an anime old man, too. It's just an old man.
I don't think I mentioned this yet, but the mother's normal attacks can lower defense, which is kind of nice. So his gimmick, he's pretty basic. He just has a normal attack, and he can summon protesters, and that's basically it. Very basic as far as, like, first bosses go. Pretty much just, like, I don't know, it's the first boss. You're very rarely going to lose. These enemies don't even have, like, elemental weaknesses. Just build up for doggy pile and then go nuts, I guess. I mean, heal with the mom if you need to.
I'm much too old for this.
He's almost down.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot if you needed to kill the minions as well. He can summon, I think, there can be up to 5 enemies on screen at once.
Oh, God.
So yeah, he can keep summoning them, so it's best to maybe just take him out as soon as possible.
Oh my god, you vaporized him!
That is a terrifying death scream. You don't need to defeat the minions.
Mailman Luigi boosts!
We get a chess ribbon. This game has a really interesting way of handling equips that I'll talk about later. So
I disband this protest thing.
Shoot! Fine, I'm leaving. But you haven't heard the last of me!
Again, very comic book villainy, and I like it a lot.
Man, this Captain Planet reboot is weird.
There goes his card.
There he goes.
That was quick.
He's gone. Well, I'm
sure we've heard the last of him.
He's opening up the gate for you.
R&R, Mr. Vice President. Why not go for a hike up Mount Pom Pom? It's lovely this time of year. The manager of our local moonbucks usually goes up there in the mornings. With the protest over, we've begun tearing down some of our barricades. This one up here, and the one by the school, for starters.
So our next area we need to go is Mount Pom Pom.
I wonder if the names are reference to anything.
They just seem like really goofy names, intentionally goofy. Like, there's a Boy Scout camp called, like, Camp Cuckoo. Like, it's...
As it should be.
Oh, you get experience. He learned Rough and Tumble, which is a weak attack that hurts all enemies.
Tell him.
Yeah, so you can go up to Mount Pom Pom. However, if you go back here, his recruit mission was just get rid of the protesters so they stop harassing his shop. So once you do that, he will join you.
I don't tell you, you gave me the description of French, but he's obviously German.
Yeah. I mean, you know the French baker, right? Like,
he's German.
So he, I'm gonna be honest, he might be one of the best party members in the game.
Huh.
I can, how I describe him, think like a fire-based... Italia. Think like a fire-based paladin. Like, he has healing abilities, as in, like, cooking, like, buns and cupcakes for people. He's one of very few characters to get a revive ability, and he has really strong, like, flambe attacks that deal fire damage. The one downside to him is that he has a hard time gaining energy. He only has like 2 energy gaining attacks, and they're not that great.
Alright, so the reason why his name is Italia is because, even though I believe that word means Italy in Japanese, it's the name of the show where every character's a stereotype.
Every character's gimmick is that they're from a state, or they're from a country.
No, they are a country.
They are a country. The personification of a country. So yeah, that was episode 1. I hope you folks are enjoying that so far.
I find it pretty interesting so far.
So from here, I'm going to have to do a lot more editing to get these done. I can't just go beeline 1 to 2 places. So yeah, we'll work on that next time.
All right.
See you folks then.
Bye.